Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Praise the Lord. We're going to try not to keep you late tonight. And, again, I thank God for this morning and the sovereign move of God. But you know what? This morning is over. The bread that we ate this morning is gone. Now, we can't eat the same bread, but He said He would give seed to the sower. So we got seed this morning. Somebody say, I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer. You got seed this morning. He said, I give seed to the sower. And when He was talking about the parable of the seed to the sower, He was not talking about money. He was talking about sowing to the spirit and sowing to the flesh. He said, be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. That one who sows to the Spirit will reap to the Spirit. Those who sow to the flesh will reap to the flesh. So this morning we got some spiritual food. And then we went over to Irwin, to Pastor Sherry, is that right? Sherry Harrington? Yes, sir. And her husband, and we got some more food. And it was a different type of food. It was a different type of food this afternoon from this morning. And tonight's going to be a different food from this morning to today. You know, God knows exactly who to speak to. That's right. You know, I've heard people say over and over and over, you keep preaching to me. Well, I'm preaching to you, but guess what? There's a whole bunch of people that ain't saying the same thing. They're not saying what you're saying. You think it's towards you, but actually it's towards everybody in here. And if the cat would get out of the bag, and the mice would get out of the trap, every one of us would in here say, he's talking about me. Nudge your neighbor and say, he's talking about me. That's what the Word does. The Word becomes alive. The Word is living. Amen. Thank God for the living Word. Peter said, he said, Lord, what shall I do for you? You are the words of life. I can't do anywhere because you're the only one that has life. You know, I was talking to Bishop Saunders earlier today, and they've had some financial struggles, and they've had a lot of people leave. And he told me today, he said, brother, he said, I'm telling you, people's coming back. He said, this one person been gone 3 years. Their family, they came back. He said, a woman from New York been looking at me for years. She found who I am. She came today. She said she's going back to New York. She's going to sell a house, and she found her home. Because, see, you can't get away from life. Life draws you. Life will always draw you. You know, people keep hovering. They keep hovering. You know, it takes, it's proven. It's a proven fact that people will come to the parking lot 5 or 6 times before they come in. They're strolling the parking lot. You know what's drawing them? Not you. That's right. Not me. The spirit of life. The building ain't drawing because there's prettier buildings. Well, I don't really say this. We got nicer buildings around here, but the building is not drawing them. Just because you look as good as you do, and you draw a lot of people, you're not drawing them. But it's the Spirit of God that's drawing them because it's the Spirit of life. That's why you came tonight. Some of you had intentions to stay at home. Now, I'm going to close my eyes. Who were you? You thought about staying at home. Just go ahead. Okay. You thought about staying, I ain't seen you in a month, and you still thought about staying at home? Good Lord Jesus. Let's carry it. Let's all go down to the river. But see, God His Spirit is wooing us and drawing us for more. Because we understand, our spirit man understands, there's something inside of us that we need God. That's right. There's an emptiness, there's a void that's inside of every man, and what we try to do, we try to fill the void. It's a God hole. Somebody say God hole. God hole. Now, God has put a hole in every man. The time when man was born, God put a hole in him, and God's the only one that can plug the hole. And the hole fits perfectly. You know, you can't put a square in a circle. You know, them little things that kids get, them little balls. And I always liked them. I mean, even now, if I was to go to Casey's house and somebody's got little children, I'd want to play with that thing, even though it's so easy to do. I just like to see that thing fit in and fit out. It's just so cool to me. But see, God has put a hole in every man's heart. And it's God that can fill that hole, and only God. But what's happened is we don't know how to fill the hole, so we try everything in our power over the course of a lifetime to try to fill the hole, and we get in trouble. We have illegitimate children. And what I mean by illegitimate children, I don't mean children, actual baby children that's born illegitimately, even though that happens too. But I am talking about we have illegitimate children. We have little children that's following around that's got different daddies and ain't the daddy of God. That's what I'm talking about. Like drugs, that's the illegitimate child. Alcohol, those things, pornography, women, again, and they're illegitimate children. And see, it's because we are seeking the thing that can fix the whole. And I want to talk about that tonight just a little bit. I want you to say with me, I'm not going back.
I'm not going back
anymore.
No more.
I want to talk about not going back anymore. Now I started talking about this a little bit today, and we're going to go to Scripture tonight. We're going to go to 1 Samuel. And we see in 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 2 and 3. And I want to show you something about not going back. Now you have got to decide in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, from this day forward, you've got to decide if you're going to go back or not. I talked about cigarettes a little while, and I know this is a little edgy subject for some of you, but I'm just going to edge you a little bit. Just go ahead and hit your neighbor and say, quit puffing.
Quit puffing.
But I want to talk about that because that seems like a hard subject to deal with. And the thing about it is we keep playing with things. And we keep going back. And really they're weak in their beggarly elements. And Paul said to the church of Galatia, in Galatians chapter 3, I believe it was, he said, I've been to you guys. He says, who has bewitched you?
That's right.
Who has called you to go back to the weak and beggarly elements of what you used to be in? Those things, Paul said, those things that are behind me, they're behind me.
That's right.
And I'm pressing forward and I'm not looking back. Somebody say, take your rear view mirror off.
Hey, mirror off.
The problem is, in the rearview mirror, we're always looking back. We're always trying to find somebody that's got something on us.
Come on.
And really, the only time you really, be honest with me, the only time you really look in the rearview mirror most of the time is when you're speeding. Oh, you want to help me out with this sketch? I didn't get in your mailbox tonight. Come on, help me out just a little bit. How many knows what I'm talking about? And you're running out and you say, oh my God, I didn't know I was running 70. First thing you want to do is see if there's a woo, woo, woo behind you. Come on, somebody. Me and Tonette, she carried me, and I'm going to tell her a little bit. She said, whoo, I didn't know I was going 65. And I'm like, it's a 45. And I guarantee you, she looked in the rear view mirror. But what we do, we don't tell people that we're looking back, but other people tell us to look back.
That's right. Come on. Go ahead.
We hang around folks, and they always want to bring us back to our past. And the church has got a bad image. And the church has got a bad way of telling their parishioners to go back.
Come on.
Years ago, we had somebody come into church years ago, and some of you may remember this is many years ago. And the message was, we're going to go back to hell and get our stuff.
Get our stuff.
How many of us here? And we marched around the church, and I was dumb enough to march with it, being a leader, till I was going to go to hell and get my stuff. Well, let me tell you something. The stuff that's in hell, I should have wanted. Amen. Praise the Lord. Let hell keep it. Come on, somebody. Can hell keep my stuff? Can hell keep my sickness? Can hell keep my poverty? Can hell keep my drugs and alcohol and women and men? Yes, hell can. Come on, somebody. You can show enough, keep it, and burn it all up.
Come on.
We had a message, we're going to go back to hell and get us stuff that the devil stole from us. Well, if the devil was big enough to steal it from God, it won't be big enough for me to keep it.
Amen.
Come on, somebody. I didn't need it to start with.
Right.
Amen? Is that okay? Okay, praise. Not going back. So we're not going to go back. So we're not going to go back. So we have to make a difference. We have to speak. Oh, I done dropped 5 of y'all from you. 9 of you started participating, and now we're down to 4. Okay? We're not going back.
We're not going back.
We have to make a difference. And we have to speak and act on what we know. And that was behind us was no good for us.
That's true.
It was no good for you. Now watch this in 1 Samuel chapter 18, talking about from rags to riches. And Saul took him, being David, that day, and would let him go no more home to his father's house. I want to talk about, a few minutes, I want to talk about getting out of your father's house and not going back. You got to understand David. David had a problem. Now, nobody wants to really address David, and I preached a message years ago that it actually was one of the best messages on YouTube that the people thought, because a lot of people watched the YouTube on David's trouble. David was a troubled man. David wrote the book of Psalms, and David wrote a lot of things, and David was a mighty man, and the Bible says in Acts chapter 13, I believe it was, that David was out of God's own heart. David had problems. David had issues, and his issues was not really with David. His issues was what he was born in. The Bible says in Psalms that I was born in iniquity, and sin was I conceived by my mother. And see, the thing about it is, if you really think about that scripture, it's a possibility that David's daddy didn't even know who he was. It's a possibility that the milkman, I don't know if you got any problems in your closet that you can't share with folks, but every one of us has got skeletons in our closet, and every one of us has got rags in our closet, and every one of us is walking around with rags, and every one of us has got stuff that if Aunt Betsy hadn't died, she wouldn't have told you. I wish somebody help me just a little bit. Some of us might not even know who our daddy was, or where we really come. Some of us have got some serious problems. David had problems. David had a raggedy house. David had a raggedy daddy. David had raggedy 7 boys that could not stand David. When Samuel came into Jesse's house, the prophet, David was out in a raggedy field with a raggedy slingshot. Come on, somebody. Looking out the raggedy sheep. David had some problems. But Saul would take David and say, you ain't going back home no more. I want to talk to the boys and girls in here this morning that don't want to go back to a raggedy house. I want to talk to some folks this morning that don't want a raggedy billfold. I want to talk to some folks that don't want a raggedy job and a raggedy life and a raggedy wife and a raggedy husband and raggedy. I want to talk to somebody this morning that wants a good life, a life of riches and not a raggedy life. Is there anybody out here that don't want no more raggedy lives and don't want to go back to the Father's house that where they come out of that was raggedy, and everybody had contentment against them, and everybody had jealousy against them, and nobody saw the gifts and nobody saw the talent? I want to talk to somebody this morning that I can find somebody in here that says, I want something better than what I had in the past. I didn't want to get excited today. I got excited over that, so I might as well get right back excited over here. David had problems. David was in the sheep dung, and David was out tending his father's sheep, and his boys were sitting in the house. And I want you to know this morning that attacks that attack you will always cause greatness to come out of you. I want you to know those raggedy things that we have encountered in life is to enrich us, is to cause us to be better than what we've ever been before. You know, you go to Disney World, and we talked about last year about going to Disney as a family, and we talked about it, and that's all we talked about. But years ago we went to Disney. How many been to Disney before and seen Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and Pluto and all those clowns? And when you go to Disney World, you don't exchange money. You go to Disney World, you buy tokens. Disney World is based on tokens. Everything's a token. You go in and play a game with a token, you get a bear. You go eat with tokens, you ride rides with tokens. And everything is based on the commodity in Disney World is based on tokens. Tokens. I thought about tokens, and I thought about when you eat, you ride rides, and tokens is the same thing as a voucher, and a voucher is the same thing as symbols. So you ain't even sharing no money, but it costs you up front. Amen. You spend $200 and you get 5 little tokens. Yeah. Right. And see, here's the thing about tokens. See, you have to have tokens in life to get to the next dispensation that you're trying to get to. I wish somebody help me. Those trials and tribulations that you're going through, all they are is tokens. Come on, somebody. And at the end of the day, you'll be able to cash in some stuff to get to the next level. But if you ain't never passed and got a token, you won't never be able to get on the next ride of life that you're going through. You won't never be able to go to the next dispensation because you'll be stuck in a rut with no money and no tokens.
No tokens.
Very imperative that we overcome. That we overcome situations and overcome adversity and overcome obstacles and barriers, because life has a way of giving us all kinds. Nobody had a good ride. I ain't never heard nobody in life say, did you have fun? Did you have a good time? Give you another $1 and get back in line. I ain't never had nobody tell me I had the best life ever, Pastor. I never had no trouble. I never had no trouble with my kids. I never had no trouble with my spouse. I always, I'm fixing to put the "huh" in it. I always had enough money to do whatever I wanted to do. I never had to worry about anything. No, nobody can say that. But it's those tokens in life that get us to the next level. It's those tokens in life that when we cash in and we get a receipt, we'll be able to go to the next dispensation, line upon line, and precept upon precept. God is trying to get us from here to there. Somebody say, from here to there.
From here to there.
See, you in Dan, and God's wanting to get you to Bathsheba.
That's right. Come on.
You're in the east, and God wanting to get you in the west. You're in the north, and God wanting to get you in the south. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But God is using things in life, and David could not get to the palace until he had a raggedy house. David got fed up with his raggedy house, his raggedy brothers, his raggedy father, raggedy mother, his raggedy life. And when are we going to get fed up with our raggedy life and say, you know what, there's something better here? There's something better here, because everything changes when you change your thought.
That's right.
When you begin to create in your thought pattern a different way, and you put it in there enough, you'll begin to walk that way.
Yes.
But until you put something in, you won't never be able to get something out.
Right.
How are you going to go somewhere when you have to give up something? You've got to give up something to get something.
That's true.
You can't go to the next level without leaving the last level.
Something behind.
Come on, somebody. Somebody say, left behind.
Left behind.
See, the problem is in life is we want to hold on to everything and get to the next level.
Come on.
I think about these little young girls that turns 40 and 50 years old, and they still wear them little 9-inch high heels, and they're so cute. They can't hardly walk. You know, and the back problems, and you know, one thing I've noticed, I notice all these women. They used to dress real cute, you know. They got these little Barbie heels on, but when they get older, they got flats on.
Amen.
You know why? Because the shoes.
There's wisdom.
There's wisdom in the shoes. Come on, somebody. I know I used to look good then. But now I feel good. My back feels good. It looked good then.
Amen.
And I strode that thing, did not now. Come on, somebody, just give me some Converse tennis shoes with a red Converse with a red dress, it'll be fine. Come on, somebody. So we're learning. Somebody say we're learning. We're learning that the things in the past have hurt us.
Yes, sir.
And the things in the future are supposed to heal us.
That's right.
And when we can get from our past of hurt to our future of healing, then and only then will we change. And not will we change, but others around us would change, because it's got everything to do with you.
Yes.
David could never have got out of the pit, out of the rags into the riches unless he used the gifts that he had. Now notice how David got out of his trouble. David had a gift of overcoming.
Yes.
The lion didn't get the sheep. The bear didn't get the sheep. Come on, somebody.
That's right.
The tiger, oh my, didn't get the sheep. Why? Because David took those rags that he had. Now I want to think about just a few minutes about a slingshot. If you really think about a slingshot, you'll use pieces of stuff to make something.
That's right.
He used pieces of things that he found in his life
Come on.
to make something that would get him to the palace.
Come on.
The things, the broken pieces in your life are there to get you to the next level. But if you keep looking at those broken pieces and how you got them instead of how to use them, good God of mercy, I think I'm saying something now. If you would just start using the brokenness and what you came out of, and use your testimony, and give people everything that you are. See, you are nation changers.
Yes, sir.
You can rock a world.
Rock a world.
You can change everything, but you can't even change yourself. How are you going to change the world when you can't even change yourself? How in the world are you going to overcome, help somebody else to overcome when you can't even get over ingrown toenails? How are you going to do that? Tell me how you're going to help somebody else, and God's going to put people in your life, the rest of your life, to help them. The rest of your life you're going to have little people pulling on you. Little snotty-nosed people pulling on you. Hey, can you help me, sir? I need some help. I've got problems. How are you going to help them when your nose is running too?
Come on.
Heal people heals people. Hurting people hurts people. And David had enough of a raggedy house and a raggedy life, and he said, you know what, I'm going to make a difference. And David waited on God. Now, if you do the right thing, God is going to come to your rescue. He may not come when you want him, but he's going to be there right on time. And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute. My right on time was yesterday. Last year, and he didn't come. You won't help me. You won't help me. You won't help me because see, you ain't real like I am. God, I look for you. I've been looking for you for 6 months. I've been looking for you for 15 years. I've been looking for you for 20 years. When are you going to show up? And then we get to church and we go to dancing. He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. He's an on-time God. And I'm like, y'all need to stop singing that song. Well, I don't think he's on time a lot of times. Do you?
Sometimes.
Come on, somebody. Yeah, somebody said, yes, he is, but you know, you didn't say that when you was going through it.
That's right.
But he is on time because his time is outside of time.
That's right.
Amen.
You have, see, here's what I think has happened. I think that we have caused him to step in time with our situation, and he's on our time, and he's not going to be on our time because he's God outside of time.
That's right.
And God works outside of time, and if we could get off of our time and get outside of time, our situation might be a lot quicker
Yeah.
in time. Is that okay? Somebody say, give it time. And so this greatness, this greatness that David had, this raggedy life, the Bible says that Saul came to David's house, to Jesse's house, and took him. Somebody say, the king is going to take you. I want you to know tonight that the king is going to take you and rapture you up out of your situation. No, folks, close up. He's going to rapture you out of your situation, and he's going to take you from here and bring you to there if you want him to.
Amen.
You want to.
If you use that thing that's broken, but if you don't, and if you think that he's going to do it all, he ain't. I want to tell you about your God. He done it all.
Yes, sir.
And he's waiting for you to do it all.
Yes, sir.
All you can. Above all, Paul said, stand. When all else fails, stand. Now, I want to say something. I've got a podium and I've got a microphone. I want to say something tonight. Sometimes I don't feel like standing.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
There's been times in my life I didn't feel like standing.
Amen.
I ain't talking about 10 years ago either.
Amen.
I might be talking about 10 minutes ago.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Now, you don't want to be real with me, but I'm going to be real with you tonight because when we get real, we can get real with you.
That's right. Come on.
And once we get real with this thing, and once we really see how it really is, we can step right out of it and say, he is an on time.
That's right.
But you have got to change the way you think. David changed the way he thought. Then I started thinking about from rags to riches, how the king would come to David's house and say, where is he? Now, why would the king come to Jesse's house and find David? Well, we know in Scripture. David had a harp. David would play a harp. And as long as David played the harp, the demons wouldn't torment the king. Come on, somebody. I'm telling you tonight, there's some music inside of you
Amen.
that'll keep other people from being pulled in.
Amen.
Come on, somebody. I'm telling you, you're a sweet melody and you don't know that. Is this all right? Talk about the devil. I'm sorry. If you wanted to hear about the devil going to hell and going to heaven, I am so sorry you missed the bus, Gus. And forget about us. I'm talking to you about reality tonight. I'm talking about what you can use this applicable. And I'm going to use a bigger word, applicable, right now. I'm talking about something that you can take home with you right now. I'm not talking waiting on the bus 20 more years for Jesus to come. Because guess what? You're going to need a banana sandwich before Jesus comes.
That's right.
Come on, somebody. You're going to need some money to buy something to drink before Jesus comes. You just can't be sitting on the wayside of life waiting for Jesus to come. Because I hate to tell you, He already come. He came as a thief in the night. He saved you, dropped right inside of you, and you didn't even know it. You just thought you just got saved. But I'm here to tell you, the strong man moved in.
Amen.
I'm telling you tonight, the King of Glory moved in your house. And you didn't even realize it. You don't even know that God Himself lives inside of you. The Creator of all the universe dwells inside of you right now. You are the fullness of the Godhead of God Almighty. Everything that God is, you are right now.
Right now.
But we're still waiting for the bus and waiting for Jesus to come and waiting to get to the palace where we don't know that all we got to do is just walk to the palace. What did the prodigal do?
He did walk home.
The Bible says that he was in the hog pen. A Jew in the hog pen that had no relations with hogs at all. They didn't ride Harleys. They rode Hondas, Kawasaki's. But they was not even, they were forbidden. So that tells me that a Jew can't have a pig. So that tells me he was in a place of a Gentile state.
That's right.
And he was, now I've heard a lot of preachers say that he ate what the pigs ate. It ain't what Scripture says.
No.
It says he would have ate. He would have done it. He wanted to do it. But he won't get hungry enough to do it. Because if a man gets hungry enough, I would never eat that. Somebody told me one time, they said, you know what, we was somewhere, and they said, what if something happens to us and there ain't no food? I said, I'll be the first to eat you.
That's right.
Hope you got some meat on your bones. Come on, somebody. What are you talking about? Are you accountable? Yeah, I'm accountable. That's what I am, I'm accountable. I will sure enough eat you. Don't play me. If you get hungry enough, you're hungry. And I ain't never been hungry enough to eat something I didn't want, but if I was, sure enough. Amen. Don't die for why die. And so we're finding ourselves deceived with our own self, thinking that we can't get out of the mess that we're in. But little did you know that what you were in, it came upon you easy. It was so subtle. Somebody hurt you, and that hurt grew into pain. It infested in the anger, it infested in the animosity, it infested in the jealousy, and it kept growing. And then you lived a life, and every time you see that person, you wouldn't say you hate them, hey, how you doing? Hey. But it grew in you. And you could not forget what they did to you. They didn't do it to you. They didn't do it to you. Why did they do that? Why did my father leave me? Why did my daddy treat me like that? Why did my brothers treat me? Am I talking to you? Am I talking to you? Can I help you? You know, why did they walk out on me? Why did they leave me? Because they themselves didn't know.
That's right.
Quit holding people accountable in trespassing, because God's going to hold them accountable just like He's holding you.
That's right.
And God's going to judge us by holding them.
But where's the issue?
So we got to, somebody say, we got to get out of the raggedy. Because the King's coming.
The King's coming.
I thought about another one in closing. I thought about one who we don't talk about much, Moses. Moses was a messed up cat. Moses, who had the law. Moses, who wrote the law with his own hands. Moses, the Bible says it was Moses' law. That's what the book says. So Moses was a big character in Disney. Moses had some serious problems. He was too Hebrewic to be Egyptian, but he was too Egyptian to be Hebrew. He didn't even know who he was.
That's right.
And don't you tell me tonight that you're going to keep sitting where you've always sat and you can't get out of it when Moses got out of it. And become one of the greatest men in the Bible. There's more been written about Moses than most men in the Bible. Moses did a lot of great, powerful things. He led 6 million people. 6 million people out of bondage. 6 million people. You don't tell me he was powerful. But before he could lead out, he was led in. God will lead you in before he leads you out. And Moses, out of his anger, Moses slew a man. Oh, Moses went to the fastest schools. Moses went to Egyptian Harvard. He went to the nicest school. He went to law school. He went to Harvard. He went to all schools. He had all the acclimates. He had the greatest of school. But yet when God would meet Moses, the first thing he said, I can't talk. Wait a minute, you can't talk. Moses, you've had the best of schools. You've had the chiefest of schools. You've had the best of everything, and you can't talk? Somebody say, cop out. Because see, here's the thing. See, when God wants us to do something, the first thing we do is justify why we can't.
That's right.
And the thing about it is, God says, okay, I'm going to bypass you for just a little while. I'm still going to use you. I will use somebody else's mouth, but I use your spirit. Because what I put in you, can't nobody else do.
That's right.
But I'll get somebody to help you. But you are the one that I've called before the foundation. And here's Moses. Moses got out of this thing. Moses saw a man beating an Egyptian beating a Hebrew one day, and he got angry. He slew this man and hit him in the mud. Because see, here's the thing. The things that we go through in life that's holding and keeping us, we try to hide. We don't want too many people to know what's really holding us. We really don't want to know what's really holding us, because here's the fact. We have to come to terms ourselves that this is what's holding you. What's holding you up from your destiny? What's holding you up from getting married? What's holding you up from getting healed? Can it be you? What's holding you up from going to the next level? Could it be you? What's holding you up with your finances? Maybe it's you. What's holding you with your children? Is it you? What's holding you in your life of health? Is it you? Have you hidden that thing that's keeping you? You know, the Lord has really showed me a lot of stuff here lately about situations and things, and I could walk up on people and say, "Whoa, Pastor, pray for me. I'm going through this thing right here," and the Lord won't let me pray for them. Because the thing about it is, several people's already told them what the problem is. Why do you need another messenger to tell you what the problem is when you ain't willing to listen to the first message, or the second message, or the third message? Somebody said, "Be healed." Be healed. And all God's purposes and all God's plan is for you to heal. He said, above all, brother, he said, be in good health and prosper as your soul prospers. He said, I have thought of you. I have great things. My mind is thinking great things about you. I want you to know your God tonight is thinking great about you. He wants you to prosper. He wants you to do well in life. He wants you to live long. He wants you to enjoy the quality of life that God has given you. But see, here's the thing. You're bucking against God. So Moses bucked against God. He saw that Hebrew being beaten. He killed that man and laid him in the mud. The first thing happened was the Hebrews, the very ones that he tried to help caused him to get in the wilderness. The very, I think I said so. The people that supposedly are your friends are the very ones that's getting you in the wilderness, but God's going to use that darkness and going to bring light out of it. Satan meant it evil unto me, but God meant it unto me good. So Moses, so they went to an Egyptian. They told him that Moses had killed a man. And they went to Ramses, and Ramses figured out, Pharaoh figured out that Moses killed a man, and he said, I'm going to kill you. So the first thing Moses did was cut and run. The first thing we want to do with our problems is cut and run. And that's okay. We want to run from everybody because we don't think nobody wants to hear it, and we get so sentimental and sympathy and empathy, and we want everybody to hear us, and when nobody wants to hear us, then we want to cut and run. But the thing about it is, while you're cutting and running as fast as you can, God's pushing you as fast as you can where you're running to.
Amen.
Because at the end of your running, you're going to encounter God.
Amen.
And God's going to get you, and God's going to take you and strip you and tell you to take your shoes off because your feet are bloody.
Amen.
Because your feet have been walking in mischief. And I want you to take Moses. Yeah? Stand before me. Take your shoes off. This is holy ground. Come before me. Moses saw something burning and he was like, it ain't no way that could be burning. He says, is that a figment of my imagination? He says, am I delirious here? No, he won't be delirious. See, you're not delirious in really what God's doing. Because I'm telling you, so God is doing something in you, and while you run and God's pushing. He's trying to get you there fast, is what I'm trying to tell you. You're going 5 miles an hour, he's pushing you 7. That's 12. Thank you, Jesus, for acceleration. God is accelerating your speed to get to where he is. And man, this is good stuff. And you don't even realize it, and you think it's to death. But God is pushing you, accelerating you to get there. Because 5 miles an hour can take a long time. But when you go 7 and you go 12, that's a lot quicker. God's ultimate goal is to get you where he created you in the beginning.
Amen. Come on, that's right.
And here's the problem. I'm closing. The problem is that we do not want to get on the backside of the mountain by ourselves.
Come on.
Because we need people to help us get over what we're going through. And this is how to help you. I cry with you, baby. I'm so sorry. You don't know what my grandma did. You don't know what I'm like, baby. It's okay, baby. You'll be okay. And what it's doing is frustrating the grace of God. And God cannot move in people who has empathy with you. What they do, they attack. Let me tell you, some of you empathers, this is trying to empathize with people. I want to help the empathers tonight. I don't know if that's a word, but it really sounds good. How do you spell it? Y-O-U. Okay, that's how you spell it. Let me help you tonight. When you get caught up in that empathy, God is going to, because there's reaping that's going to be reaped by him. And when I attach myself to that, I get a part of the reaping. And I don't need to reap what I haven't sown.
That's right. Come on.
God knows I have enough reaping on my own, but I have to get somebody. Can somebody help me? Is this okay? Is this all right? Can I help you? Is this all right? Can I help you tonight? Is this okay? Saw a brother do that today. Man, it excited me. My feet was burning when he kept doing that. Thank you, he's been good to me. He's been so good, so good. He has been good to me. Amen. But see, here's the thing. On the backside of the mountain, in the backside of nowhere, all alone, God is going to strip you, Moses.
Yes, sir.
And when he strips you, he's not going to reveal himself to you again until you're totally stripped.
Come on.
And I want to tell you something, and I want to tell you something real good. It's going to hurt.
Yes, sir.
How many's been stripped? I'm like, God, I feel like I'm naked before the people right now. What else is there to take? What else is there to take? God knows exactly what to take. I tell you what he'll tell you. To get you to where he needs to get you, he'll take the very thing you love the most.
That's right.
That's what he'll take. That's exactly what he'll take. He'll strip you down to nothing. Because we're playing this game. Oh, you just don't know. You just don't know. Up and down, in and out. You're playing a game, y'all. It's a game. Every night and every day, y'all. The games people play, y'all. Come on. Looking at you and me. The games people play. We've got to quit playing the games. We've got to take an assessment. And we got to sit back and say, okay, let's do it. Someone say, okay. 6 people. Let's do it again. Okay. That was 13. We get that. Let's do it one more time. Okay. What is it, Lord, that you want to change about me? Moses went crying in the wilderness about Ramses and Pharaoh. Oh, God, they would have killed me. I was just looking after the people, Lord. I just had a bad life. I just don't know. My mom, I was on the breast, but they took me early, and then I had an Egyptian queen to raise me, and I had to shave my head, and I saw my Egyptian brother with beards, and I don't know. I can speak Hebrew. I can speak Egyptian. I don't know. I'm a doctor. I don't know, God. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I went to theology, but I can't seem to get over it. I can quote scripture. I can sing. I can preach. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Moses. Let's go on the backside of the mountain so I can show you. Because you can't see me until you first see you.
That's right.
And when you can find that you have problems, then you will find the problem solved.
Amen.
Can somebody help?
Yes,
Somebody on drugs or somebody in alcohol, AAA and BBB and all those associations, they say that I'm a recovering drug addict. And they say, and they got one good thing that they do, that you got to acknowledge that you've got a problem before you can get healed.
That's right.
Yeah.
How in the world do you think you're going to get healed, Moses, when you're still in Egypt?
Come on.
God knew, God let Moses see that boy get whooped. God allowed him to get angry. Because how in the world will he deliver people if he hadn't delivered himself first? You know when your deliverance is going to come? In the wilderness.
That's right.
How do you know? Okay, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. I'm not even going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about two, but I could. But I'm going to talk about two great men in the Bible. The first great man in the Bible that had to go to the wilderness to get delivered was Moses. The second great man in the Bible, which is the greatest man there has ever been, had to go to the wilderness. His name is Jesus.
Amen.
He got delivered in the wilderness.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
that helped me.
Come on. Come on, Pastor.
He overcome all his adversary in the wilderness. Well, good God of mercy. When you can get in the wilderness and you think it's the devil and you don't want to go, and I understand, believe me, why? I understand.
Yes, sir.
Nobody.
Nobody wants to
I can
go.
tell you one thing, when you go, you're not going to come out the way you come in.
That's right.
Because you're either going to come out different or you ain't going to come out at all.
That's right.
You're right about that.
Is this okay?
That's right.
Is this all right? Are you with me?
Oh, yeah.
So I say to you tonight, the King is coming
Yes, sir.
to take us out of our Father's house.
Come on.
He's carrying us to the palace. Joseph's dreams got him in trouble. His gifts got him in trouble. If he would have harnessed his mouth, but see, he could, and I hear preachers preach all the time that, oh, Joseph shouldn't have told his brother.
No.
That was part of the plan.
Yeah, that's right.
God put in his heart to tell his brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what the Bible says his daddy said? He said he observed all these things.
Yeah, all these things.
Brothers, hey, I'm just wondering tonight how many folks that we got siblings, spouses, people we live with, people we don't live with, really despise us.
Come on.
I say to you, go where you celebrate, not tolerate.
That's right. Amen.
Hang out with people that love you for you.
Yes.
Don't hang out with somebody that loves you today and hates you tomorrow. He loves you not. Hang out with folks that celebrate you and not tolerate you. Because I got a gift that don't need to be tolerated. I got a gift, plural, that needs to be celebrated. You've got gifts inside of you right now that need to be celebrated and not tolerated. And I'm going to tell you something there, Robbins. These folks with money that's going to come to you, there's some of them that's going to tolerate you because it's about them. They want their name in the highlights. Oh, if I can give some money and put my name on the fanfare, if I can be on the fan club, so I can buy some, so I can have some tokens, so I can go buy me something and ride the next fanciest ride. You walk away from it.
Come on.
God's going to show us who celebrates us, and God's going to show us who tolerates us.
That's right.
And those that celebrate you and embrace you when you come in and honor you and admonish you, you hang tight with.
Amen.
And those that just throw their nose up, sniff neck, just like off a top, tied tail, hung the tail between their legs and walked away when Ruth said, whoever be your God, be my God.
That's right.
Wherever you go, I go. Wherever you search, I'll search. Where you die, I'll die. Go where you get celebrated. I'm talking. Amen. Praise God.